Yes, everyone, what's going on? It's Stephen Howson. This is Full-Time Devils. United have only taken a point from Southampton after they went down to 10 men. I thought first half started out quite positive, in all honesty. I thought we looked really good, and this has happened a couple of times now this season, where we've started off in the first half. We've either not come out properly in the second half, or there might have been some sort of, we got figured out at half-time by the opposition in their analysis. And as we've come out, we've been caught cold in the second half. And the annoying thing is, basically all of the goals that we've conceded this season, the ones that have resulted in us dropping points, I think have been preventable. Especially today's. Today's was, we didn't deal with the first cross correctly. And then the second cross comes in and we just didn't deal with it in the slightest. I've seen numerous people at fault. I've seen people blame De Gea. I've seen people blame Lindelof. I've seen people blaming Wan-Bissaka. Ultimately, systematically didn't deal with the ball coming back in. Lindelof didn't check his shoulder. Don't know if he'd heard a shout. Don't know if he was even told what was going on. It was bad. But we limited them to enough shots, I thought, for us to have won the game, regardless. When they went to 10 men, they just sat behind the ball and forced us to just try everything, throw the kitchen sink in there. People in the comments here are actually saying, I wonder if I'll actually call out Lingard and Rashford. When have I not? When have I not? You tell me when I've not. I'll say, Joe, what? I don't think some of the criticism that Lingard's got is valid. But I thought Rashford was really poor today. When have you heard me not be honest about that? Rashford was very, very poor as a number 9 today. He had one shot on target out of 4 attempts. I think he could have had a few more attempts. But I thought he was poor. I thought his passing was poor, his ball retention was poor, getting on the end of crosses. I thought it was a poor game overall from him. Someone in the comments, I missed the name, sorry, saying, couldn't have asked for more from James. James took his goal very well, but again, the lack of end product from him was worrying. Very wasteful in the final third with James, again. There was a lot of chances created today. I think we had 8 shots on goal, which is a massive improvement from what we saw against Crystal Palace, but not being anywhere near clinical enough. I think we might have had 22 shots in total. I can't remember off the top of my head. I've seen a lot of people slagging Pogba. Do you know what? I thought Pogba was all right, actually, today. I thought he created a lot. I thought he drived very well. I thought he was a little bit deep at times to really affect play. I thought once we did start pushing forward, he really helped with that. I thought he comes in. I thought he'd come in for a lot of unfair criticism. I thought he's going to come in for a lot of unfair criticism. Pereira, I thought, shown flashes of why he should play and flashes of why he shouldn't. I thought it was a very inconsistent game from him, both ways. I thought Young was terrible. I just thought it was a bit of a disjointed game. Only started to see Maguire really do what he's known for, which is stepping out with the ball once we'd forced Southampton back and really started to peg them in and really get about them. It was lacking. I thought, actually, for the first hour or so, Juan Mata I thought was excellent. And I thought that was the reason why we created a lot of chances, was because, well, maybe the first half, maybe not first hour, I thought Mata really knitted the play together with everybody else. The sort of quality on the ball that we were hoping to see from the Crystal Palace game, but we didn't quite see it. V. Larson says, James was superb today. See, how can he be so superb when he's so wasteful with the crossing that he's got and is even a lot of his shots? I disagree. Is Garner injured? Says Galvatron. Yeah, I believe he picked up a knock. Need to suck it up and play Fred so that Pogba can play further up and create more. I'm not enamoured with the 4-2-3-1 that we play. And for one of the main reasons is that we do struggle with the positioning of Pogba. And I think you get the best out of a Pogba in a midfield 3. We was having a chat this morning. I think when the under-23s are playing, you've got a midfield which, on paper, doesn't have the physicality to run a game of football, and that's Jimmy Garner, Dylan Levitt, and Angel Gomez. Now, the three of them, very good technically. Dylan has got, if you saw the pass that he played last night, you'll understand what I mean, but he does this constantly. He's got like a Paul Scholes level of vision about him, but he's also got a Paul Scholes level of questionable physicality. He's not the fastest and he's not the strongest. So can he do that box-to-box thing? Is he going to come up against someone like a Yaya Toure or Patrick Vieira who's going to absolutely run over him at some point? And you got Angel Gomez, who obviously has physical drawbacks due to his size and the weight of the guy, but he also has physical advantages because of his size and because of his lightweight. He's unbelievably good lateral. Now, like I said, all three of these are technically fantastic players, so it kind of works. Jimmy Garner is the legs for him, but that's not to take anything away from Jimmy. He's not just a water-carrying player. He's a very good technical footballer with a good range of passing and a real intelligence about his play. But because they're played as a three, it works. They cover for the deficiencies the other ones have got by hard work and good positioning and communication. When we play a midfield two, you're asking Pogba to do a lot more than you would probably normally want. Now, and there's not a hell of a lot of a difference between playing a number 10 like Mata, with two number 6s behind him, and playing a midfield three. There's not a lot of difference, but there is difference. There is some differences. And you can cover for each other a little bit better when you've got a midfield three versus two 6s and a 10. And for me, you get the best out of a Paul Pogba when he's played in a midfield three. We saw this in the early part of Jose when he was sat alongside Matic. Just didn't quite tick. The best came out of him when you brought in Ander Herrera as well as Paul Pogba. I also don't think that the number 10s that we've got are perfect number 10s. Jesse Lingard limited in the final third, although very good off the ball. Juan Mata, brilliant on the ball, limited off the ball, limited in terms of pace. Neither of them are perfect. Both of them are a better fit for certain types of games, but United would be much better off if we had, I don't know, an Ander Herrera style player or an Ndombele style player, somebody like that. And you could even go one step further. Back in the summer, at the start of the summer, I did a video where I looked at three players that I thought would give United a chance to actually compete for the title. The 5 players that I picked were Wan-Bissaka was one, Alderweireld, a tall leader at centre-half. Maguire kind of fits that bill. Sound, there's them two dealt with. Sancho was the third, and then Neves and Ndombele were the other two. I wanted to see a total transformed midfield and a new right winger, and if we'd have got that, I'd have been quite confident with what we had going forward. Didn't anticipate that we would also lose Lukaku, we would also lose Sanchez, and we would also clear off a right load of the deadwood. With all of them going, we still probably need 3 or 4 players coming in, at least. The good thing about that is we're going to find out whether these youngsters are good enough. I'm certain Jimmy Garner's going to get an opportunity. I'm certain Angel will be given an opportunity. I think Dylan Levitt might even get an opportunity, as it looks like he might be getting an international cap before he gets a first-team debut, which is kind of weird, but congratulations to him on that. The bad news is that this season's probably going to end up being a write-off because we're in a massive transitional phase where we're going to give a load of youngsters opportunities. Now, when you give youngsters opportunities and you don't have the world-class talent around, you're going to suffer inconsistent performances. I definitely don't agree with people who are saying you can't just throw youngsters in because if they have a bad performance, it'll damage their confidence. Not if they're good players. If they're good, strong, resilient players, which you have to be a professional at United, then you'll be fine. You know, that absolute tonking which haunted United for years against Barcelona in the Nou Camp, Ryan Giggs played and a 17-year-old Nicky Butt played, and we got hammered 4-0. They both had good careers. If you're good enough, you're fine. And you'll not win anything with kids. You know, David Beckham, I think, made his debut in that defeat against York. You had the whole of the class of 92, Phil Neville, Gary Neville, Nicky Butt, David Beckham, they all played in that defeat to Villa on the opening day of the season when Alan Hansen come out and said, you'll win nothing with kids, you need experienced players. But they were given time to mature. We were inconsistent until Cantona came back, and then we started to put some results together and we managed to go and win that title. Now, there's a very, very, very strong chance that none of the players that are coming through at the moment, Garner, Gomez, Greenwood, are going to have anything like the careers of David Beckham and Ryan Giggs. I would say there's a 99% chance that they won't. But they could still be good professional footballers. And they could still be good professional footballers for United. But it is going to take time. Much like when Rashford broke onto the scene, if you're good enough, you can just be given the opportunity to play. And I do think you need some experience around them. We lack massively leadership in the team. When Marcus broke through, he had Wayne Rooney, still Schweinsteiger, Zlatan was there not long after. There was a lot of people he could turn to. Who do Martial and Rashford and Greenwood turn to now? Solskjaer? It's not really that relationship, I don't think. Where's that leadership? Ashley Young wore the captain's armband today, which is a fucking embarrassment when you look at the pantheon of legends that have worn that armband. This season's going to suck. It might suck for a couple of years, but we as a fan base, I think, need patience. Because the manager's definitely going to need patience. You don't clear out the deadwood like he's doing without there being a plan to actually complete a starting 11 and a squad that's going to be able to compete. Maybe they're waiting for the natural cycle to end of City and Liverpool. Maybe they've gone, we ain't competing this season anyway. Let's make this a 3, 4, 5 year project, which is what it might have to be. We've tried the quick fixes. Now we maybe need to try the project side of things. I don't know. What you guys saying in the comments anyway? Why am I ignoring the fact about everyone disagreeing with me about James being wasteful? Well, you're ignoring the fucking facts then, aren't you? Go and look at his completion. He was fucking dreadful. One of them went in, doesn't mean that he wasn't wasteful the rest of the time. Are you telling me Ollie has done well in the last... Who said that? No, Ollie hasn't done well in the last 20 matches, but the last 20 matches aren't relevant. All that's relevant is this season. Arsenal fans used to love doing January to January titles, and he was always top of them, but they never won fuck all. It's irrelevant. Trying to find some comments. What do you mean not even Greenwood? I don't know what that means. Hate it when you talk about the past. Why? It's relevant. It's relevant and it's comparative to what's going on at the moment. If you don't know what happened in the past, you've got no point of reference to what's going to happen in the future. Daniel James' crossing was superb. I don't think he found anyone today. Or was he one complete cross? In all seriousness, Zlatan in. Well, Ollie did seem to mention that there's a possibility that that might happen, didn't there? You have no idea what you're talking about. Well, I kind of fucking do, don't I? So deal with that. Too many bottlers in the team. Where are the real men from United? Letting it go the way we did was well disappointing, wasn't it? Because it felt like it was just... even like Crystal Palace, it felt like the 1-2 chances that they had result in goals. And the numerous chances that we have, we're not managing to get them over the line. That was what was worrying me about allowing Sanchez and Lukaku to go and not bringing in a replacement. Even someone pretty ordinary that isn't looking to start all the time. Someone like that would have done. Ollie's game management is shocking. Well, he did actually change it up. We did actually look better briefly when he did bring Matic on. I wasn't excited when Matic came on, but we did actually look quite good when he came on. Opinions on Ollie. I don't understand why you can see the board sell all 3-4 first choice players and think that you're not going to suffer because of that. All the people in the comments saying Pochettino, go and check out Spurs' record because theirs is fucking worse than ours of late. Times have changed. You're not winning the league with these lot. Who's come on here and said we're winning the league? We're miles away from that. James was not wasteful. His crosses were amazing. All right. I'm going to leave it on that. Right. Cheers for watching. Hit subscribe. I'll see you in a bit. Laters.